Very good afternoon to all of you. Uh, so let us start today's session. I welcome you all on board in the National Faculty Development Program, jointly organized by MTC Global, Bangalore and Knowledge Cafe Bangalore on the subject Effective Online Teaching Strategies. Thank you once again for being part of this online faculty development program on one of the very important topics we are engaged nowadays. Thank you once again. So let us proceed with today's deliberation. Now we'll try to understand the present situation a little bit right now, what's happening around the world and how the industries are responding to this unprecedented challenge we are living through. Today it was there in newspaper in Bangalore Times of India that government has banned any webinar up to the class 5th standard. So 6th onwards webinar can happen because of the tender age and health related issues linked with devices. So that is another challenge today. Now there are so many talks whether really webinars or online teaching learning pedagogies are effective or not, and there are many counter arguments as well. We'll go into the depth step by step, but before that, academic world during and post COVID-19, I am sure that all of us are aware that London Business School, Oxford University, and other Ivy League institutions, they have waived off the GATE and other entrance examinations. And they are directly recruiting the students through the personal interview methods. So situation is really very tough. Around 1 lakh students, those who go overseas every year from India for higher studies, this time there is a big question mark whether this set of students really go to overseas for higher studies or they will be at their home country and pursue higher education. If you look at most of the places, all places, that's why we say that technology is the great leveler. Whether it is Ivy League institutions or a college next door in our rural India, all institutions today are using the webinar or different technology platforms to engage the students. And we don't know how long it will take for the scientists to come out with a proper vaccine to address this COVID-19 situation. And experts are talking that it will not few months, it will be next minimum 3 to 5 years. We have to survive through this difficult time. And everyone is telling that we have to live with this new normal. Very tough challenges ahead, but there are some good drugs also have come up in the market. Name like remdesivir, which is very effective in UK, US, and other countries, and India also. Pharmaceutical companies are coming out with this particular drug, and it seems it's very effective, and patients are getting cured in 4 to 5 days in much lesser time. But besides that, hydroxychloroquine and some well-known drugs, there is no other development, medical development to address this particular virus. So we all are in tough time. And you know that Ministry of Human Resource Development day before yesterday made announcement that educational institutions, including schools, will start functioning only after August 15. And that too, it depends what kind of situations would be there at that point of time. But however, examinations like CBSE, ICSE examinations, that will happen in July. examinations will happen. And you know the recent Madras High Court verdict, it has stopped no examinations for 10th because of this grave situation. So there are a lot of uncertainties, and Ministry of Human Resource Development has come out with lot of good measures to ensure that students are not left behind. MHRD has come out with 32 dedicated channels for each classrooms to address students' requirements. They have launched SWAM, wherein so many open courses and resource material is there. So students can log in and they can pursue. I think this is the time wherein self-motivated learners are of great demand, and students are taking all interest to ensure that whatever is there in their curriculum, they do justice to it. Other day, I was taking one of the guest lectures and I could see that some of the students are attending webinar from home wearing uniform. I think that's the kind of no dedications students they have. But given the fact there are a lot of myths, okay, surround this particular online teaching pedagogies, and I have encountered in many of my sessions, as well as there are many reports also available in media. Number one is the online class is not as effective as conventional classes. It's boring, students don't participate, teachers don't get the flexibility to ask a lot of questions, get the students, make the students do their work face to face. So there are n number of challenges today, but given the situation right now, I think there is no other alternatives than to engage effectively and find out suitable measures, mechanisms to ensure that whatever expected outcomes we design before launching a particular course, we achieve those outcomes. And there are number of ways we teachers can ensure that we engage the classes very effectively, and also we can take the feedback from the students on a regular basis. However, this is not an easy task. There was one survey by EduCause in 2017. EduCause is a platform for educationists related to education development and research. And that particular survey, it says that 92% of the teachers, they think that online education is not effective, and they are not interested also for any kind of online engagement. So my idea of giving this particular inference of the survey report of EduCause is to understand that there is a lot of inertia, resistance towards online teaching learning. But let me tell you, it can be very, very effective and productive as well. If we prepare well, if you design our course well, and if you design the evaluation criteria for whatever session we take to see that whether students have understood or not, I believe that we can achieve greater result even in online teaching learning process. Around the world today, if you look at the situation, you know what happened in Spain. Spain, after the school started, the number of COVID cases gone manifold up. So across the world, all are putting their fingers crossed whether to really start the education institutional or not. But having said that, we cannot stop education or learning. So I think this is the best platform available today through which we can engage our classes, we can do justice to our work and ensure that students learn. Online test assessment class, it was there. Now still there are students union who are protesting not to hold any kind of examinations and give them marks based on the previous examination performance and add 10% on that and make them through to the next semester or the next level. Maharashtra government repeatedly said that will hold the examinations. Many deemed universities today, they are holding online examinations. Those who are interested to appear, and those who are interested to appear for the offline examinations, they are hosting that also. They have increased their internal assessment test. So there are a lot of innovative thinkings, okay, how we can take care of the students properly and grade them in this difficult time as well. Now there is one interesting report also. Kerala State Higher Education Committee recently submitted one report to the government, and it has clearly mentioned that this online education will continue to remain even we come back to normalcy, and we need to really make use of this particular opportunity wherein all stakeholders are engaged on online technology platform. And it has further stated that possibly some of the courses wherein practical hands-on experience or lab session is not there can be conducted online, and wherein hands-on experiences are required, lab sessions are there we can have the blended teaching learning mode. So looking forward, there will be many more innovations. And so in that case, what happens when something happens online, definitely the course fee becomes very, very reasonable. And many of the weaker segments, students, they can pursue their higher education dreams. Another, no, this particular time, we have seen that rise of micro credential. Lot of certifications programs are going on, and these are in great demand. Why? Because these certification courses can ensure that participants learn a particular skill set which is required by the industry and can immediately meet the industry or corporate requirements. Udemy, Unacademy, and even edX, Coursera, lot of micro-credential certifications programs are going on. And many are in the opinion that this time, because of tough or distressed financial conditions, many parents may not encourage their wards to pursue education, higher studies. Instead, these particular segments, they can pursue their skill development programs through some certification courses and join a company, and after that they can again 1 year or 2 years they can come back for studies. Corporate expectation from academia, time has changed. You see everywhere you open newspaper, you will find out there is layoff, right? There is furloughs, there is pay cut. So this is a very, very difficult time. And corporates are expecting the students who are highly capable and those who can deliver from day one. So corporate expectations have gone up. They may not bother about whether a candidate is PG or from where he or she has studied. But if that incumbent has the right kind of skill sets, then definitely that person can be recruited. So these are some of the present scenarios what we are going through. Now, keeping this in mind, as a teachers, as an educators or facilitators, mentors, whatever you name it, what best we can do it to use the technological platform and effectively engage our sessions to ensure that students learn the way we expect. The first one is know the technology. I think before this COVID-19, very few of us have engaged any online sessions, right? But once this COVID came and we all are pushed back at our home, so there was no other way than using the technology, and we all picked it up very fast. We are quick learners, and there was a need, and we all picked up the technologies. So knowing the technology is the first step. Now today we have the Google Classroom, wherein we can share our materials, our PPTs, and are being used very effectively. We have free platforms like Zoom, Google Meet, and we have the paid version also, wherein we can talk for unlimited time and more participants can join. We have GoToWebinar, GoToMeeting. So there are many web platforms are there. We have Cisco WebEx, even Microsoft Office 365 also we can use for engaging our sessions. So a lot of technological tools are available there, and all of us have mastered into the technology to ensure that we effectively deliver. And there is no other go, right? We need to, and there the advantage is we can use all these technologies using our smartphone through the application. So that's another advantage, whether it is through computer or through mobile phone, we can get access and effectively use this technological platform to engage our session. Expect the unexpected and remain flexible. I think this is a critical part. Many times, no, we all must have experienced that sometimes some technological errors may pop up during our sessions. So we must be ready with the plan B or the alternatives, how we can switch over the one particular technological platform to another platform to ensure that our teaching learning does not get any kind of impediments or difficulties. So we need to be really flexible, like we're using Zoom, right, for 40 minutes. So what we can do, we can have another Zoom session lined up so that we can continue another 40 minutes, or we can immediately change over to Google Meet, another platform. So this technology part, this mobility, because of some uncalled for, something may happen, untoward incidents, power may go off, or something may happen. So we need to be ready for this unexpected situation, and we have to be flexible to ensure that we move from one technology platform to another technology platform and do our jobs effectively. Create and maintain a strong presence. I think this is one area wherein we need to really work a lot in online teaching learning process. A strong presence in the mind of students. I have seen that not many, most of us are using WhatsApp group for a particular class. We're recording our video, we're posting in the WhatsApp, we're posting some motivational message, right? To ensure that we are present, because in this particular time, we're not coming into physical face-to-face meet with the students. So how we can remain on top of their mind? Yes, we are present. So this presence, you have to do it. We can record our video and we can upload in YouTube. There is Facebook Live, there is YouTube Live. We can give some sessions like that. So our presence is very, very important. If we can identify some weak learners, probably we can give a phone call also to them and just find out how they're doing, any difficulties they're facing in the online teaching learning. Can we address them? Can we have a remedial online classes for them or not? Like as we have in conventional method, the remedial classes or the tutorials for the weak learners. Can we do it? I think that's the question. So we need to maintain a strong presence, right? Maybe the Facebook, we post some good video, we post some good motivational message. So many students are connected with us. No, there are so many platforms are there wherein we can maintain our presence. It is not just only that at the time of taking our sessions we come to know webinar and we conduct the sessions, but we need to maintain a strong presence in the mind of students using WhatsApp. We can make group, Google group or Yahoo Mail group, send them some good messages, good mails, send some assignments, projects. Okay, I think this is the way we can feel that we are in touch with the students, and students also will feel good. Yes, we are constantly in touch, and someone from the college in touch with us and constantly sending some messages, some video recording, some motivational message. Okay, so that's another area I think we all need to work out. In fact, in conventional modes, we can move around, we can roam around, we can ask questions randomly, we can talk to the students, we can bring in stories. But in online mode, those things are not possible, right? So I think that's the biggest challenge. Online, we have to be too much focused. So because of that, we need to plan properly, we need to prepare properly, we need to come prepared. Okay, I think pressure here is too much. We need to prepare a lot in online sessions, even which assessment we'll use for a particular lesson plan. Okay, which assessment we'll use. Once you're using the online platform, definitely the assessment pattern will change. It cannot be like conventional modes, right? So which evaluation tools we'll use. So all those things we need to work out. If you're taking a session, particular session, so what would be the expected outcome using the online platform? That we need to develop. It may differ a little bit in conventional mode and in online platform. So that we need to little bit rework. MHRD has indicated for the schools that there may be 30% reduction. It is not confirmed in the syllabus because of the less time, right, for this academic session 2021. But even just leave it aside, given the same course curriculum, if you can design the whole things, okay, in a new way and try to deliver it, I'm sure that we'll be able to cater to the needs of the students. Set clear course expectations. I think this is what I was referring to. For each course, we should have some expected outcome, some expectations as we are using the online platform, and this may differ a little bit. So these course expectations, we should build up that pedagogy is using the online platform. What kind of assignments we will give, what kind of projects we will give, what kind of critical discussion questions we will give, what kind of case studies we will give to the students. I think this here we need to work out. As I was mentioning before, that in online sessions, students, we cannot go line by line as per the lesson plan. We should give the students beforehand the study notes, the review questions, right? Some case studies, some minor mini projects, small projects. Beforehand, we should give it. Let them study at home, come prepare, and wherever they have difficulties, those things can be discussed in the classroom. I think this mode works out perfectly fine in online teaching learning pedagogies. Establish a sense of comfort and develop a community of learners. I think this is very, very important, a sense of comfort and develop a community of learners. Each class is a community of learners. We have to assign them responsibilities. We have to encourage them to take the leadership position. We have to encourage them to ask more questions. We have to make them, inspire them to become self-learners, to become proactive. They should not wait for teachers to come and tell them what to do. I think we have to build up the class as a community of learners so that there is a lot of peer learning happens among themselves. I think this inspiration is possible if we make our presence in the mind of students, what I mentioned in the beginning, and keep in continuous in touch with the students through mail, WhatsApp, or phone call. So probably this we can do it. We can convert a class into a community of learners. I think we don't have much time here, maybe another 7 to 8 minutes. So I'll request all of you, please come back using the same user ID and password in the Zoom. We'll start because I have opened the same link in another computer. We can continue. Promote reflection and communication through quality asynchronous discussion. I think this is one area. We are taking sessions online, right? And generally students will type their doubts and questions in the chat box, right? But we need to get right reflection. Really, whatever we are teaching, just we are finishing our no session and going off the air, or really students are learning the concepts or not. So this we need to find out. And to do that, we need to communicate with the students through WhatsApp, through email, using the phone call, because we cannot ask random questions like as we do it in the conventional mode. So here we have to find out other alternatives to check, to understand that whether students are grasping the concepts or not. If not, then we can have a separate session for a set of students, those are finding difficulties in understanding a particular concept. This can be definitely done, right? Have a good balance of active leader and active observer. I think in online education, there are a lot of complaints from the teachers that many students they don't attend, or there is a lot of resistance from the students. They don't ask questions also. I think we need to encourage. There must be some students who are active leaders and some students will be active observers. They will observe what others are doing. They will not raise any questions, right? So there has to be a balance. If everyone is observer, very difficult to find out whether really whatever we are teaching, those definitely students are understanding those concepts or not. So we need to encourage the students to become active leaders in the session and come out, or they can also take a portion of the session. So we need to, like how we do it. Some classes are purely taken by the students. We only be there as a mentor. And there are active observers. There have to be a balance. And that is up to us how we can really encourage, motivate the students, okay, to become active leader during the session. Request regular feedback and be mindful of misinterpretation. This feedback is very, very important. Like for each session, whatever faculty development program and other workshops are being organized, we all have feedback form, right? So that the participants can give their feedback, and based on that, the sessions can be improvised. This is a improvement tool. In a similar way, we need to take the regular feedback of each session from the students, at least at the initial stage of a particular course, so that we can understand the gaps and we can develop the mechanisms accordingly, so that majority of most of the students, or there can be 360-degree development, or all the students can understand, okay, the concepts. I think this has to be done. The feedback, which is no very useful in conventional mode, and immediate we can get feedback by asking the students. I think in online platform, getting feedback no is a tough thing, but we can definitely get the feedback through feedback form, asking questions, or they can send feedback through email. We can do some survey also, among the students, what are the difficulties they're having in our online sessions, and how these gaps can be addressed, and accordingly we can tailor made our presentations or our sessions, so that those things can be done. Regularly check content, resources, and applications. I think this is one area what we can do. There are so many online resources, resource hub. There are different platforms where free resources are available. As a teachers, we can go through, get the link, and if it is related to a particular course, all those links we can send it to the students. Please go to those links and study there, and come back if you have any doubts, or make a small presentation of 5 minutes. Okay, that also can be done. So I think lot of no efforts as a teachers we need to put on our part to ensure that how we can engage the students effectively. I think this is becoming a big challenge. But in one of the webinars, I was one of the speakers, and one senior professor said, see, today we find that students are taking a lot of interest. They're learning by themselves. There is so much challenge, but when you interact with the students, we see that their learning ability has gone up, because students, they know that end of the program they need to get a job, or they need to go to the higher class, and there are so much difficulties, so they need to put their own interest, and they need to learn by themselves, because online there are some limitations, obviously, given the platform. So a lot of self learnings are happening, and we can get those resources, the links to those resources, give it to, if it is online journal, many institutions, they have the this e-labs. Okay, the library has e-labs, so all those user id password, through that teachers and students can get into their library and get their requisite input materials. I think this is a time where e-labs are becoming very, very popular. Not only that e-labs only for the books or journal purpose, even many institutions, they have the computer science e-labs and electronics e-labs also. And there are companies, no professional companies, which set up e-labs. But definitely some activities, wherein hands-on activities required, I think that part we can keep it aside. When we come back to normalcy or institution starts working, that can be done. But rest of the things, most of the things can be done online. Even some practical classes can be done online. Even the test can be done online using artificial intelligence as a proctor, as an invigilator, whether really the same student is writing the examination is not. I think there are many deemed universities, they have floated the idea of open book examinations, online examinations. Okay, I think that's a good way. Okay, that's a good way to look forward. Now we come to the end of this particular session. I think we can discuss more in the question answer session, because a lot of question comes. I'll tell you the kind of questions generally pop up. In one of the sessions, one professor asked, "Sir, what happened to the colleges which are placed in the remote areas?" So I think how online platform we can use effectively, okay, for the students, those who are into the remote place. I think that's also one problem area. So definitely there is a mechanisms wherein we can still we can encourage know how we can address the requirement of the students. I think we're coming to end of this session, so I request all of you, please join back. I'll open in the same user ID the Zoom itself. Join back the same session. Do you have any questions until